Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about the most recent update and everything that is good, bad, and just plain ugly with what has come with this latest patch, because there is a lot of changes that went down and a lot of things that probably crept into the game that shouldn't have, and some things that actually worked out really well. So I want to discuss this all with you guys, give you all my opinions, and if you didn't know about some of this stuff, maybe educate you on what's happening in the game currently. Now, before I jump into it all, make sure you guys leave a big thumbs up. You've been showing so much support on the channel lately, and it has really helped boost the numbers up, and the channel is growing really quickly. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you guys, and make sure you comment down below which skin you liked better from this update, because I want to know if you guys like the Han skin from A New Hope better, or the Ceremony Luke skin from Yavin 4. So let me know down in the comments, because I'm interested to know what you guys think. Anyways, let's jump straight into it, and we are going to, of course, start off with the good things in the update, because who doesn't like a bit of positivity? Let's talk first about General Grievous. The biggest change to General Grievous was that his thrust surge was going to no longer do the helicopter spinny trick where he does go around and around in circles when you try to attack an enemy and then it doesn't actually hit. So this was probably one of the most frustrating things that I had with General Grievous, and I found myself not wanting to play him very much because I didn't like this ability not working, and I just found it got me killed more often than it actually did damage and connected to an enemy. Now that it's been fixed, I have to say that it is really fun to use. It's probably one of the most satisfying abilities to get kills with, and using it in Heroes vs Villains is one of the best things that you could possibly do. His ability set for HVV probably makes him one of the best, if not the best hero in Heroes vs Villains. I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing him a fair bit since the update, and I think he is probably a top tier villain right now, right up there with Darth Vader. So I don't know if it's just me or how I've been playing him, but I've found I've had so much more success with General Grievous since this ability has actually started working now. It is much more consistent. I wouldn't say it's 100%. I did actually get the helicopter glitch once during my gameplay today, but he has become so much better. So if you haven't tested out Grievous since the update, I think you guys should definitely jump in and give him a go. The second positive thing I want to talk about is that co-op has been expanded to be playable on both offense and defense. So you can play both factions now for each of the maps in co-op. I'm not a big co-op guy myself, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but a good change nonetheless for the longevity of the game when online support does eventually get turned off. The third thing is that the officer's flash grenade got a nerf, and this is something that a lot of players have been shouting out for. The flash grenade now no longer blinds you, it just gives you the concussion effect, similar to the concussion effect that you get from Boba's ability, and I think this is a great change. I hated being blinded when I was a hero, couldn't see anything because of this officer grenade, and it just seemed like a little bit unfair that an officer had something that was so powerful against a hero, and you were pretty much left helpless after getting hit by it. I think the concussion effect is much more tolerable and something that has been a great change for the game. Speaking of great changes, and this one makes me very happy, and I'm sure it will make a lot of you guys happy as well, the criminal card, the Stinger pistol, has received a massive nerf, and this, as someone who loves playing heroes, makes me so happy. You guys know I've been complaining about this Stinger pistol and how powerful it is, because it is getting abused when heroes are in action. You pretty much just get pinged from a distance with the Stinger pistol and you have no chance of recovering from it. Well, that is no longer happening, so sorry to all of you specialist mains that love it. This is not going to happen anymore, and because this wasn't in the patch notes, not a lot of people know about it now, but as of this video, hopefully you do. The nerf that the Stinger pistol received is that now the damage does not stack no matter how many times you hit the enemy in the head. So previously, every time you hit the enemy with the Stinger pistol, it would do more and more and more damage. Now that is no longer happening, and also the damage being taken by the enemy that's being hit will stop if they kill another enemy. So if I'm playing Darth Vader, I get hit with a Stinger pistol and then I kill someone, that damage will immediately stop. And I think this is a great change. And also, without the stacking ability, it's more of just a nuisance than anything. It's not actually going to be much of a threat. So they pretty much nerfed the Stinger pistol into the floor, which I am very pleased with. Some of you might not be, but I am very happy with this change. The next thing to talk about is the lightsaber combat, and it feels smoother than ever. I think it's a really positive change. They have taken a lot of the staggering away from lightsaber combat. It feels really good right now. You can swing at an enemy that's blocking, and it's just a regular block. There's no stagger, there's no knockback, none of that is happening right now, and it just feels really good to get in lightsaber duels with people, and you'll see the gameplay in the background that it's just generally smoother all the way around. So another positive change there, and feeding off of that, the force ability change that we got is also a positive. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this now allows force abilities that are used in the back of an enemy to work even if they are blocking. So if you use a force push, for example, at someone who's blocking, blocking, nothing's probably going to happen. But if you are behind that enemy and they're blocking and you hit them with a force push, they are going to go flying, which is a huge change because before they didn't even have to face you and your abilities wouldn't work. So now I think it's a lot more skilled. It takes better planning, better preparation, and knowing when to use your abilities to make this effective. And I think it's a great change for heroes versus villains and a lot of the lightsaber combat gameplay. The last couple of bits and pieces to add on the positive side is that the Ceremony Luke skin looks absolutely amazing. I do think they should have changed his face a little bit from the version we currently have in the game, but I guess that was probably just going to be a little bit more work, and it was probably going to take longer for the skin to come out. So overall, I think it's a really good looking skin. I'm happy with it, and we're not really looking at their face that often anyways, because it is generally just the back of their head when you're running around playing a hero. On top of the Luke skin, the 501st Aerial skin that was added as the new default does also look really cool. I'm glad they're adding more reinforcement skins, and hopefully we get something on those leaked BX Commando droid skins at some point, but obviously leaks are never 100%, so I'm not going to get my hopes up, but that would be really cool to see after this Aerial skin got added. The last thing to touch on is Felucia did get added to Heroes vs Villains as a playable map, although I did play for about 2.5 to 3 hours this afternoon and couldn't manage to get Felucia to save myself. There are a lot of maps in HVV now, and it's just very difficult to actually track down Felucia and get some gameplay, which I wanted to insert into this video, but I couldn't manage to get it, so I just gave up. With all the crashes and the long rotation of maps in Heroes vs Villains, it made it near impossible to get, so when I do stumble across it, I will upload a video with some gameplay on Felucia in HVV for all of you guys to watch. So, a lot of positives in this update. I'm gonna wrap that section up and we're gonna get into the bad things about the update. And there's only a couple. I don't want to go on about them too long, but they definitely need to be mentioned because if anyone at DICE does end up watching this video, they need to know that this stuff is happening or the changes that they made weren't really well received by the community. The first bad thing that has come in with this update, and it's not something that was mentioned in the patch, I don't know if it's a bug or if it was meant to be this way, but Finn no longer receives his damage reduction when activating the Big Deal ability. This is one of Finn's core mechanics, and I think it's one of the things that actually makes him a bit more survivable. His teammates still around him receive the buff, and they still get damage reduction, but Finn for some reason does not, and it makes him very weak. Especially if you're playing heroes vs villains, you're up against lightsaber heroes, you are going to need that damage reduction, and without it, Finn is really a paperweight. He's not going to go up against any heroes, he's going to be much more vulnerable in Galactic Assault as well, and I think this was just a really bad change overall. The new Ewok Hunt map, although it is cool to get a little bit of change from the previous Ewok Hunt map that we currently had, it is still a little bit boring after a while. The problem with Ewok Hunt is that it is very slow at times, and at the start of the game when there is only 1 or 2 Ewoks active, it takes a long time to actually find them, and when you're playing the Ewok, it takes a long time to actually kill the first Stormtroopers because they tend to bunch up and it becomes very slow. So the new map is cool, I don't think it's a bad thing, but Ewok Hunt in itself shouldn't be a priority. I know they wanted to do something for Halloween, but I just don't think Ewok Hunt was the way to do it because the players, they'll play a couple of rounds for nostalgia and to make it cool, but I really just don't see people playing it for a long period of time. And the fact that the Luke skin was locked behind getting 10 kills in Ewok Hunt kind of forced people to play it, and I think once everyone's unlocked that skin, the Ewok Hunt servers will die off again, which is what happened last time we had Ewok Hunt added. Everyone played it for a little while it was new and enjoyed it and it was cool, but then it got boring and everyone stopped playing, and now you can barely find a game. But enough about Ewok Hunt, let's talk about the game-breaking bug that is Bosk. And for those of you Bosk mains, you've probably noticed that every time Bosk jumps up in the air now, he takes 75 damage, and this is just something that has gone wrong somewhere. Bosk only had a minor change in this buff, but it shouldn't have really affected this. I don't know how this bug ended up getting in, but every time he jumps up in the air, he takes 75 damage, and I'll insert a clip here so you guys can see it in arcade mode. It's a really weird one, and I don't know how it would have crept in, but nonetheless, it definitely needs to be fixed as soon as possible. Speaking of things that need to be fixed as soon as possible, Palpatine's Chain Lightning is now unblockable. This is another thing that is a big issue. Palpatine's Chain Lightning is, yes, of course, one of his main abilities, but I don't think it should go through lightsaber blocks. There has never been a time where it has actually gone through lightsaber blocks and it was meant to be that way. I don't know if this was an intended change or not, but I can't imagine it would be. It seems like a weird thing to do, and I think it's just a bug that's crept in with the update as well. So hopefully that gets fixed soon and we get that sorted in a future update. And the last thing in the bad section of this video, and it's not really a bad thing, it's just a little bit disappointing, is the A New Hope Han Solo skin. It just looks a little bit off. I don't know what it is, maybe it's the face. I think it just looks a bit funky. I believe they should have changed it and make it look more similar to what it does in the original trilogy than what we have have in the game, which is probably easier said than done, but I just think it doesn't look that great. Although it was purchasable for credits, so that's one thing, and I think that's really cool. I think they should do that with all of the skins from now on. But not a big thing. I don't think it was that bad. It was just something I just thought was a little bit disappointing. It's still a cool skin nonetheless, and I'm glad we finally have it, since we should have probably had it since the launch of the game. And now, last but not least, the ugly part of this update. And this is just one thing, and I'm going to go on for a minute here because this is extremely vital that this gets sorted. Game crashing. Every half an hour, this game will now crash. Since the last update, something has gone wrong somewhere in the coding, and the game is now constantly crashing. It doesn't matter if you're mid-round, end of round, you could kill someone and all of a sudden, boom, blue screen or crash or whatever you want to call it. Blue screen on PS4 is the biggest one. I streamed for 2 hours last night and I had 4 crashes. So every half an hour, my game crashed. This is absolutely game breaking and it needs to be fixed as soon as possible because we are going to be losing players and people are not going to want to play the game if this is happening. If you're on a kill streak with a hero or you're really having a lot of fun and then all of a sudden, boom, game over, crash, you're out, you need to reload, try and group back up with your mates again, and that is just going to drive people insane. I know because I am going insane already after just playing for the last couple of days. So hopefully this gets fixed as soon as possible, and I think at the time of recording this video, there has been an update saying that they're working on it and it is a priority for them to fix. So hopefully it doesn't take too much longer and we can get like a hot fix or something along those lines to get this sorted before too many players have issues and stop playing this game for now until it gets sorted. I am hoping to stream again tomorrow morning, but if the crashes keep happening, I don't know how long it's going to go for, but fingers crossed it does behave for me while I am streaming and you guys can enjoy some more content. Anyways, that is everything from this update that I wanted to talk about. Let me know your opinions down in the comments and what you think of this update overall. There definitely were a lot of good things in this update, but there were some really bad things as well, and the game crashing is just ugly. So make sure you let me know what you think. I am going to get out of here. I appreciate all of the support you guys have given me lately. I will see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you always.
The Sith are all powerful. You are no match for me.